Hello and welcome to another video from the Mojave Desert, even though the desert is not the topic of this video. But wanted to show you I'm here at camp. This is the third day that I'm here at this campsite right next to the Mojave Road. It's very quiet here. Two cars came by today, a Jeep and a Mitsubishi Montero. And they were just heading west on the Mojave Road. Well, I'm here just camped for work. And I figured it's a good moment to pick up the camera and let's talk about Rossmonster and Rossmonster support specifically. So when I arrived at this campsite here, I wanted to raise the roof and push the button here on the inside of the rig. Here at the door is the button. Let me show it to you. So up here, there is the button where you see the 16 on that little display. And yeah, the display was dead. It didn't work. I don't want to say I panicked, but it's like, crap, I'm in the middle of nowhere. What do I do? So I got my laptop out. I sent an email to Rossmonster support asking for urgent help. I'm in the desert. I cannot raise the roof. Then I went to get my tools out and figured, okay, maybe something came loose. I'm going off-road quite a bit, and well, I had the right idea. I was just looking in the wrong place. I was thinking of removing the metal box from where that display is attached to and look what is behind. I didn't have to in the end because just a couple minutes later, Luke from Rossmonster, one of the founders and CEO of Rossmonster, called me, and he walked me through the troubleshooting steps. And yeah, within like 2 minutes, we had the problem identified. So the actuators have like a power supply that is sitting under my sink. And this is the cable coming from a 110 outlet going to the power supply. And so I reseated that cable, and the part that actually goes into the power supply had come loose. It was still in there, so it looked like properly attached, but it was loose. Once I plugged it in, the actuators started working again, and I was back in business. And I thought, man, I'm glad I'm dealing with Rossmonster here. Getting a call on a Sunday afternoon from even Luke, from the CEO, is really reassuring. And I'm not expecting that the CEO calls me all the time. I assume he's just on call and or saw that email message and responded. So I was very, very impressed with that. And yeah, that got me the idea to talk about Rossmonster support in general. So I had a couple of problems with this rig, nothing earth-shattering, and I wanted to talk about my experience in general with the Rossmonster support and the Rossmonster team and how they respond when something happened. When you look at the two windows here, you see the black plastic bar in here, you see the corner pieces, and I'm moving the camera up here so you can see they're a little thicker. And what this is all part of the mounting and alignment system for the roof. So these items keep the roof in balance, I want to say, and properly aligned. And there were, I want to say, in the previous versions, metal bars on the inside with like a strong bolt that was like sliding up and down and kept the roof in line. So when you go off-road, that it doesn't start shaking. It's perfectly attached, not like from getting loose, but from sideways swinging or forward swinging, and from that perspective. So in January 2025, I was out in, was it January? No, it was actually in November when I noticed it the first time. I was out in Sedona on a very rocky road and noticed that my roof was swinging a little bit. So I went inside and I couldn't necessarily tell, and I wasn't as informed about it as I am today. But in January 2025, I noticed the problem more visibly, and so I reached out to Rossmonster support because the metal bars that were inside with the head of the bolt had sheared off, and so that explained it to me that these alignments were not working anymore and the roof was shaking. Rossmonster assured me that this should not impact functionality, and I was more concerned about longevity of the actuators and everything. So I made the decision to drive up to Longmont, Colorado in January and had it fixed. So did that. Rossmonster made time for me. The moment I knew when I could be in Longmont, they took me in and fixed everything. It didn't take very long. It was like 3-4 hours and I was back on the road. And yeah, I was impressed with that. They already had a new solution worked out. So I assume I was not the first one where that happened, and they saw it and they came up with a better solution. So this seems to work just fine. Now, I've been on the road quite a bit. I haven't had any problems from that perspective. The next thing I had where I needed help from Rossmonster was not roof related, but maybe it was roof related. When I was driving to Canada and I was close to the border to Canada, when I lowered the roof, it started making some weird noise and I just couldn't pinpoint it. And it was like not a cracking, but like something was compressing when the actuators came down. And the actuators have a lot of pull or push power. And yeah, something was wrong. So I reached out to Rossmonster support, and I was concerned it made like a loud popping noise when I lowered the roof. And I talked to Luke, and he gave me a couple of things to try. He showed me how to troubleshoot it. So we resynced the actuators, and well, it was still happening. So we decided to look at it the next day. And then I was getting ready to bed, and suddenly I noticed something. And let me go inside the camper and show you. I was standing here next to the shower, and I was looking into this gap. And if you look at the ceiling, I have a pine tonneau roof ceiling. The outer board of that ceiling actually seemed to have disconnected. It was hanging down. So when the roof was coming down, this was pushed against the bar, just like here, made this popping noise. So I was able to remove it. It was pretty much up here in the corner, and you can see there's like the breakage point, and you see that the ceiling is a tiny little bit less wide from here to here. So once that was identified, I removed it, and it actually made almost a clean break. So that was really good. Let me put the blanket on Shelby. She's getting cold here. So, and problem solved. And again, Luke actually had called me, and we figured that out together. And it was good to see that even when I'm out in the field, that they're responding. What else did I have? So another roof-related issue, and you might say, okay, the roof is crap. It's moving up and down. Well, the roof is moving up and down. You have some stuff that is not permanently fixed. So there is, and from my inspection at least, wow, the mosquito here. So whenever you have something that moves up and down or sideways, whatever it is, there's a higher risk of something happening. What happened in Canada was that the metal bars that I mentioned earlier, we did not remove those when I was at Rossmonster in January. And there was no need at that time. Everything seemed to be perfectly aligned. But yeah, something happened that the one metal bar came partially loose and got stuck between the roof and the hard side of the camper when you move the roof down. And that was at a time where I just didn't have the physical ability to remove it myself. I had a broken leg and I was not very mobile. So since I was driving back, I stopped in Longmont and they removed the metal bars and all is good. So again, once they knew when I was coming, then they took me in with no problems. I had a couple of other issues, and that is, again, Rossmonster support was shining. I noticed one day that my solar panels up on the roof were not charging anymore, and I started troubleshooting myself. I opened up the electrical cabinet and noticed that the breaker for the solar panels on the roof was tripped. I flipped or turned it back on, and the solar panels started charging immediately. And 2 days later, the same thing had happened. So just a bad breaker. I reached out to Rossmonster support, and Patrick from Rossmonster started looking into this, and he said, well, you know what, we'll just ship you a new breaker, and if you can replace it yourself, then we're good. And yeah, replacing a breaker is not a big deal for me. So I got the new breaker, I put it in, problem solved. I decided to buy an additional breaker off Amazon, and I have this as a spare part in the truck so that I am not stuck out there in case this should happen again. So yeah, minor issues from that perspective. With the roof, they had changed, as mentioned before, the mechanism of how the roof stays aligned. It was just my bad luck in that moment that when my rig was built, that solution was not in production just yet. So no problems. But Rossmonster offers a 36-month warranty or 3 years, yeah, 3 years warranty and 36,000 miles warranty. And well, they're standing up to their word. So I had a few other questions. I emailed the support email address and I got answers immediately. Never really took long. When I started discussing adding the diesel heater to my rig, I talked to Patrick quite a bit and we bounced our thoughts and ideas back and forth in regards to what are we going to do with, where are we going to install the diesel heater and where are we installing the tank. So I wanted to have an auxiliary tank for the diesel heater. I didn't want to have it out in the open. Initially, I wanted to have it installed here, where you see that storage box where the trash bag is hanging. But then I figured, no, I want it protected. And then we decided to put it into the storage box here. And since that would take away a lot of the storage, I decided to just get a third storage box that you can see here. And so just the expertise of the entire team. Patrick, I assume, took it back to the engineers, just making sure that everything is cool and that we can do it that way. I know that the molly panels in the rear are rated enough for the weight, so not a big deal. But I was, again, very impressed with the overall process when I reached out for help. Hey, I want to have an additional heating system in there. What can we do? So not just from a support perspective, but really it's like, hey, let's engineer something for you and let's make this work so that the rig really meets your expectations. Other than that, I haven't had really any problems with the rig. The aqua hot, I think, was giving me one problem once. I reached out to support and we just did a system reset and the aqua hot started working again. Not necessarily something I would blame Rossmonster, it's more aqua hot that was the issue. So it sounds like I had quite a few situations where I reached out to Rossmonster support, but keep in mind, this rig sees a lot of dirt, it sees a lot of rocks. There's a lot of moving, shaking and vibrating going on. And I expect that certain things will fail, that they will come loose. I might not necessarily expect it in that moment. And it's like, all right, like here on Sunday, it's like, okay, where's that stupid power supply? It didn't even come to my mind. I was just like, my thought was more, I'm in the desert, I'm away from civilization, and I want to camp here for the week. I don't want to go home to have this fixed. So I'm glad that Rossmonster, that Luke was available and walked me through the steps. And this is not your regular RV that you take on roads. And I mean, even on roads you have vibrations going on. So if you have an RV, if you have an expedition vehicle, a truck camper of some sort, you know that when you're out there, stuff rattles loose and that you have to deal with it. And from that perspective, I didn't have any mechanical issues, knock on wood. Not just knocked on the bush here behind me. With the truck itself, I'm doing my own maintenance in many ways. So yeah, I'm very happy that I got a Rossmonster, because now with my experience of 1.5 years owning this rig, it's like, I'm impressed. So I love this rig. I'm glad that Rossmonster is really standing behind their support. And I'm not the fanboy here. I mean, yes, I really like the team. I think I'm good friends with like Patrick as an example from the service and support team. It's, yeah, when you spend a lot of money, you're happy that you have a team that's standing behind the product. You're not just a number. They have everything on file. I mean, when I talked to Luke on Sunday, he said, okay, I can look up where your power supply is. We have it all documented. It's like, wow, who does that? So Rossmonster does it. Anyway, Rossmonster, my recommendation, 2 thumbs up. There's the other one. I'm very happy with this rig. Had a ton of fun so far. I picked it up October 2nd, 2024, and today is March 3rd, 2026. I'm looking forward to having many more enjoyable miles with this rig. And my next rig, whenever that will be, hopefully will be a Rossmonster. and I can tell you more about all these things and my good experience with this company. So that's it for today. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so as well. And then I would say I'll see you next time in my next video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.